Alright guys, it's finally back. We have the preseason DFS video going for you guys. Going to be going over the Hall of Fame game. We got the Falcons versus the Broncos. It should be a good one. So in this video, we will be touching on kind of the players that you should be targeting for the Hall of Fame game. And just so you guys know, last 2 years we've done preseason DFS videos and we pretty much dominated. You can go and check those out. The quality of the video wasn't as good as it is this year, but the content was just as good. We won people thousands of dollars. So it was a really good year last year, and the year before that. We've been on players like Javon Wims, D.D. Westbrook, Gus Edwards. The list goes on and on. By doing preseason DFS, we were able to figure out that Tariq Cohen, Philip Lindsay, we're going to be guys that we're going to be fantasy assets too. So it helps with fantasy football. It just helps to have fun with preseason DFS. So let's get into it this week. I will say first, real quick, that I am doing this video on Wednesday, okay? So news can change right before the game on Thursday, so you have to stay tuned. I will be having a Patreon page for those people that are interested in seeing kind of the content laid out, some lineups as well, so you'll be able to check that out as well. But let's get into the picks and plays for the Hall of Fame game. All right, so we'll start off with the quarterback side. So we got news that Matt Ryan's not going to play. It doesn't look like Matt Schaub's going to play, so it looks like Kurt Benkirk is going to be the full game starter. And anytime you see that, you pretty much just want to lock in a quarterback if they're going to be playing the full game or almost a full game. And that's what we're going to get with Benkirk here. Now, the thing that worries me is that he really sucked last year in the preseason. I mean, his completion percentage was under 60%. He threw like 3 picks and no touchdowns when he got significant playing time. So that does worry me. But the head coach came out and said that he's really looking forward to seeing players like Benkirk go out and play in the Hall of Fame game and finally get a chance to see them on the playing field in an actual real game scenario. So I do like him as a play this week. Drew Lock is going to be popular, I think. He isn't starting, but he should be the second quarterback in, and he should see roughly around a quarter and a half or so. It's just a matter of how many drives he gets. And he is going to be going against the second unit team because he isn't starting, so that should help him as well. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if he went out and had a decent amount of points. But, you know, Kevin Hogan is the quarterback that is getting the start. And Kevin Hogan's decent. We know he has, you know, legs. He should see about a quarter of play. And it's just a matter of putting together some quality drives. Kevin Hogan, decent play. I don't love it. I'd actually rather go with the third string quarterback on the Denver side if I'm going to go with one. But still, Kevin Hogan has been a starter in the league before, has produced decently. All right, so Brett here, he's been getting some decent hype out of Broncos camp. So I think that they're going to use the Hall of Fame game to see if he can be a practice squad player. I do think he's going to see a majority of the snaps in the second half of the Hall of Fame game. So that does get me excited. I could see, you know, him going out and playing decent. You know, I've seen the film on him. He's fine. Don't mind him as a play. Quadre Olison. I don't know if I said that right. Probably said it wrong. Sorry if I butchered that. But he's kind of a bigger back that I really wouldn't be surprised if he goes on, like, gets a goal line carry or two. He has stood out in camp so far for the Falcons, so he's probably my favorite running back for the Falcons. The only problem with the Falcons running backs is it's kind of hard to predict historically which ones are going to get the touches, and they don't typically like to give running backs a lot of touches. It's mostly around 7 touches at most. Tony Brooks, James here, he's more of a scat back, more of a big play guy, whereas Quadre there, he's going to be more of a goal line back. Be interesting to see kind of the play there. I do think James has more upside, but Quadre has kind of more of a base, so I like him more as a play. I should say Barner has been getting a lot of hype out of preseason. I'm not sure how much he'll play in the Hall of Fame game because it wouldn't make sense for him. He's a veteran, so I don't know why he would play. We got Muhammad here, who's been getting a decent amount of hype out of camp. I don't really like him as a play, but I just wanted to mention that he has been getting hype out of camp. We got Devontae Jackson here, who I actually really like for the Broncos here. He should see quality snaps here. He's trying to beat out Devontae Booker for the third running back spot there. It's going to be one of those two guys that beats him out for the running back spot. So I do like him as a play. He's kind of I liked his film, so I like what he's been able to do in camp so far from what I've seen. So I do like him. Devin Gray, I just want to mention, I wouldn't be surprised if he did well. I'm not going to go out and play him. Christian Blake is one of the players I like the most, though. He's put together some really good camp film so far. He's a really strong route runner as well. He's one of those practice squad guys that the head coach came out and said that he's really looking forward to see play some real-time game action. So Christian Blake, I do like as a play. I really like stacking him and Ben Kirk as plays. The next player is also one that has been getting quite a bit of hype. If you want to stack both of those two with Ben Kirk, it makes a lot of sense to me. As you guys can see there, he stood out in their little scrimmage that they had. But also he's been staying out in camp as well. So really don't mind it. He is, a younger player as well. So typically rookies will get more run earlier on in the preseason, and then these veteran guys will get a little bit more run later on. So that's kind of why I like to target him. Juwan Winfrey has been getting a lot of hype out of camp as well. I don't like him as much as some of the another receiver for Denver that I'll mention, but if you end up on him, really don't mind it too much. He's a guy that can go out and do pretty well. It's just that I don't know how much playing time he'll actually get because the Broncos receivers are kind of banged up. Trinity Benson here is a guy that I really do like. He's kind of a smaller, quicker receiver. He's a playmaker. I like this play a lot. He's a guy that needs to go out and prove himself to be able to make the team. But he also has been having a really good camp as well. So he's one of those receivers that I really like as well. I should mention Calvin McKnight has been getting some quiet hype out of camp as well. I don't really like the film on him. Kind of bad route runner. Probably one of those guys that kind of just gets dominated in the NFL. Kind of runs upright. But I just thought I'd mention that since he was getting some hype. Nick Williams as well, getting a little bit of hype, but I just don't see why they'd play a veteran receiver that much in the Hall of Fame game. All right, going a little bit lower, I do want to mention Troy Fumagalli. He should see some playing time, but tight ends are really risky. I wouldn't play them. But he is a receiving tight end. He is a playmaker. So if he goes out and scores a touchdown, wouldn't surprise me, but I'm not actively going out and trying to put him into my lineups. I do want to mention that the strategy has been to play two defenses for the showdown slate, even having them in your captain's pick. So yes, it kind of prevents your upside, but it does leave you with a nice base, which will make it easier to cash. And also, I should mention that, kickers, kind of fluky in DFS or preseason, so I would kind of avoid them if you can, but also they could easily go on and get you 10 base points, which really is nice in preseason DFS. For this specific lineup, I would have to go with the Falcons defense here because I have a lot of Falcons, but I do think the Broncos defense is going to be better. So, but all of that's kind of luck. There could be a tip pass that goes for a pick six, especially in a scrappy game like this. All right, but that's all I have for you guys. If you want to see more content, check out the link in the description below on the Patreon page. I'll have some more information for you guys there. And that will be good for the whole NFL DFS season. So we're starting out here early with the preseason DFS for the Hall of Fame game. We'll continue that for the whole season and throughout the whole preseason. All right, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a like and subscribe as always. I appreciate it. And let's have a good preseason, and let's have a really good NFL DFS season. Really excited that it's finally back, and we finally have some football to watch. It's going to be good. All right, guys, we're out.